Alright, so I have had my Supercell Turbo dust collector by Oneida for a few weeks now, and I figured that it was time to make a review so that if anybody out there is looking at this specific dust collector, you can understand its capabilities and if it's going to be right in your shop. Now, first and foremost, I definitely want to say Oneida sent this out to me for free. They have no idea that I'm making this video. They did not ask for this video at all, but I definitely wanted to be able to put some information out there that was from somebody who was not working at Oneida. So if some people out there were looking to invest in this specific machine, they would have a good idea of what it actually can do. I use these CNC machines full-time in my shop in order to create stuff to sell, and I use this dust collector for them. I've used many different dust collectors specifically for these machines, and I've never been happy with any of the options. First and foremost, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a Festool dust collector back there, and I had it running on this machine for the longest time, and it probably picked up about 70% of what the machine was doing, and that really depended on what type of material I was cutting, and I was never really happy with that overall. Now, when I put in the second CNC machine into the shop, I realized that that wasn't going to cut it long term. So I started looking around and actually hooked up my flagship jet dust collector up through a bunch of these pipes all the way over on the other side of my shop, and I realized that I was throttling it down too much, and that wasn't going to be really picking up the type of dust that I needed. I started looking around a whole lot, and instead of just looking for brand names, I was looking for a specific tool that was going to be able to achieve the results that I needed, and that's where the Supercell Turbo came into place. This thing is purpose built so that it can go anywhere from like 1.5, I think, all the way up to 5 inches in dust port without any type of loss in suction. Now, I am by no means an air scientist or study that. I'm a woodworker. I just want a tool that is going to work and be reliable, and this thing has really been fitting the bill for that. For me, I didn't really know if I wanted to use a 4-inch dust port on my CNC machines, or if I wanted to use 2.5, or if I wanted to use a mixture of both, and I didn't want that to be able to determine the type of dust collector that I was putting in my shop long term. I know that these things can be quite the investment. This hybrid dust collector that works in all of these different port sizes comes with a price tag for sure. So when you're looking to invest and put a dust collector in your shop, most people are going to go out and buy the cheapest thing around, and it's going to work just fine for them. Until later you start running into issues and you realize that you need a different type of dust collector, maybe something that is low volume, high pressure, or high pressure, low volume, and you're starting to realize that you're going to have many different types of machines in your shop, when in reality you could just buy once and have a machine that is going to service anything that your shop can throw at it. Yeah, I've had zero issues hooking this up to my 5-inch Woodmaster planer, being able to pull chips out of that, to my table saw, to my CNC machines. Setup for this probably took around 2 to 3 hours. The instructions were fantastic on it. This thing is made in America, so you're getting American-made instructions as well. And all the support team over at Oneida have been incredibly responsive throughout the entire process. The only thing that you really need to do is make sure that you have the correct power. So this is a 220-volt machine, so you have to be able to put on your own end, and of course have your own receptacle on the wall. I know a lot of y'all don't have 220 in your shop, so there is a machine that is similar to this that runs on 110 and is called the Dust Cobra. I'll have that link down below as well. So watch this. Yeah, it is immediate on and off, and that is because this is actually made up of multiple motors that are in here. So imagine like the highest quality shop vac that you can have. Well, multiple of those packed in here, so it makes this suction incredibly powerful. Like I said, I'm no dust collection scientist, so I can't really speak to the exact CFM. There's a ton of that literature available on Oneida's website if you are an air nerd and you'd like to see all that kind of stuff. But for me, as somebody who just wants to know if the darn thing works, it works so well. I've had this thing cutting so many different types of things on my CNC, whether I'm cutting MDF and just creating dust, or if I'm using bowl bits and I'm creating much bigger chips. This thing does not leave anything on the CNC at all. And it's funny enough, I just completed a project where I did denim. I was cutting up jeans, and some of the jeans did not really get fully impregnated with the resin, and I was essentially just making jeans dust, which was horrible, and I needed to show how the machine was cutting, so I wasn't using dust collection. But the second that I switched over to a dust collector, boom, there was absolutely nothing that you could see, and it was pulling out everything. Now, a lot of y'all might think, well, what did that actually do to the filter? I haven't checked. Let's see. Unplug it. Yep. Just as I thought, it looks as clean as the moment that I put it on, and that is because of how you actually clean it. So let me put this on and I'll show you. So they have a very clever and simple way of cleaning the Supercell Turbo, and what you really need to do is just turn the machine on, close this blast gate, and once that blast gate is closed, it's going to deadhead the machine, which means it's building a bunch of this pressure and it doesn't have anywhere to release. That's where you take this bar right here and you push it down, hold it, and then pull it out multiple times. And what that's going to do is it's going to knock the filter. It's taking all that dust and it's putting it down into the collection bin at the bottom, which brings me to the collection bin itself. Now for me, I really wanted this thing to be mobile, just like my CNCs are mobile, just for moving it around purposes, and I didn't really know if this was going to be its final place. So for me, I've got it on this little mobile cart. Mobile cart's awesome, super well built, very easy to put together, and with that it comes with this 14-gallon dust bin at the very bottom. This hose that you see coming around here, it's creating pressure at the very bottom to hold the bag open as it's in use. And I also have this dust sentry hooked up to it, and that blinks red when it's actually filled, so as my CNC machines are running, I can tell if it's actually filled up so it doesn't fully fill up and clog itself. Super huge creature comfort right there, and I definitely recommend getting that. Like I said, mine is the 14-gallon variant, but you can also get this where it will mount to the wall, and you can have it in different size drums. They have all of that on their website. If it comes with high pressure vacuum hose, which is specifically needed for this machine, like I said earlier, it will use any type of hose, but it is so powerful. Like I can't overstate that. I've been woodworking for 10 years. I have never dealt with a system that is as powerful as this. You turn it on and it is immediate. If you have anything next to where your opening is, it will suck it in. If you have like paper or whatever and just a regular tool, it's just gonna suck it in. This thing is so powerful. So when you're considering actually ducting this into your shop, having hard ducting or hose that is specifically meant for high pressure systems is a must. On the CNC machine, I can't really use that rigid of pipe because it restricts movement and I don't want to set off any type of alarm on my CNC. So I have to use like the slinky kind, and it tightens it up every single time. It's very, very good at what it does. So let's talk about drawbacks. I think the biggest drawback for most people is going to be price. And that's one of the things in this world. If you want nice tools, they cost money. And Oneida makes a ton of different units that will be able to service different people at their different price points and what specifically they need in their shop. If you're somebody who's looking to upgrade your current system or even just start establishing a system in your shop, I highly recommend reaching out to the people at Oneida, because when I first reached out, I thought I needed one of their massive wall collectors. And the truth is that would not have been able to service these CNC machines the way that they need to. This is much better specifically for these machines, whereas this machine is going to be perfect for somebody in a two-car garage or somebody who's just got a small shop like me, whereas one of the massive bigger machines might be better served for your shop if you have bigger tools with huge port sizes. Obviously, when looking into dust collectors, there is a ton of things that you have to consider, but for a small shop, I think that this is the only one that you need to consider. So if you're looking at one of these and it is in your budget, I cannot recommend it enough. I personally don't think that there is any competitor that even remotely comes close to this, or a system that is going to serve my shop better in the specific use case that I have, and know that it's going to do the job no matter what I throw at it. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.